Why would you definitely not want to be a beauty in the past? We usually think that the phrase "beauty is pain" is about uncomfortable high heels or a strict diet. But a few centuries ago, fashion required your life, literally. Today, I'll tell you why gowns were breeding grounds for diseases and how regular makeup could make your teeth fall out. At the end of the video, I will tell you a story about a very common item of men's clothing at that time that could make its owner go crazy and die a very slow death. So, watch until the end. Let's start with the simplest thing, the face. In the 18th century, the ideal was deathly pale skin. It was a sign of aristocracy, a sign that you are so rich that you don't need to work under the sun. To get this white skin, women and even men used cerussite. Sounds difficult? Actually, it's just white paint made of lead. Think of the famous portraits of Queen Elizabeth I. Her face always looks like a perfect white mask. What was the catch? Lead was slowly absorbed into the skin and poisoned the body. First, terrible sores appeared on the face, which people covered with an even thicker layer of lead. In the end, these fashionistas lost their hair, their teeth went bad, and their internal organs just stopped working. Many died in pain while having that perfect skin color. If you think makeup was bad, look at the hairstyles. In the Rococo era, huge constructions called fontanges were in fashion. These were towers made of hair and frames up to half a meter high. There wasn't enough natural hair for this volume, so they used hairpieces, horsehair, and wire. To keep this whole mountain together, they used a lot of lard, regular animal fat. The problem was that people didn't brush or wash these hairstyles for weeks or even months. The smell of old fat attracted insects, lice, and fleas. But that's not all. Rats came to the bedrooms of noble ladies because of the smell of the fat. There are known cases when women had to sleep in special metal cages for their heads so that rodents wouldn't bite off an ear at night or build a nest right in their hair. Now, let's go a bit lower, to the beautiful dresses. In the Victorian era, long trains were incredibly popular. Ladies in London or New York proudly dragged meters of expensive fabric along the sidewalks. But street cleanliness back then was not good. The sidewalks were covered with trash and dirt. The trains worked like giant vacuum cleaners, collecting bacteria like cholera and typhus. Imagine, a lady took a walk in the city and then brought all these presents right into her living room or nursery. And when they got tired of trains, crinolines appeared, huge cage skirts. They looked impressive, but they turned a woman into a walking target. The biggest risk was burning alive. This is not an exaggeration. The daughters and sisters of many famous people, like the sisters of the writer Oscar Wilde, died exactly like this. If a skirt accidentally touched a fireplace or a candle, the big skirt, full of air, caught fire like a torch. Because of the huge size of the dress, the girls couldn't even run through a door or take the outfit off quickly. But if fire threatened from the outside, the corset killed the body from the inside. In the 19th century, an extreme trend became popular: tight lacing. The ideal was a 40-centimeter waist, but some people went even further. For example, the French actress Polaire became a world sensation because of her waist, which was only 33 centimeters. To help you understand, that's just a bit more than the diameter of a regular dinner plate. But the most dangerous was the S-bend silhouette, popular in the early 1900s. This corset forced a woman to push her chest forward and her hips as far back as possible. It looked cool in photos, but in reality, The spine was bent in an unnatural way, causing back problems and chronic limping. It was believed that a relaxed waist, no corset, only belonged to women of low social status. So, good ladies preferred to faint and break their ribs just to not look loose in the eyes of society. In 1898, Marie Curie discovered radium, and the world went crazy. At that time, science didn't know about the dangers of radiation, so they thought it was liquid sunlight. People believed that if it could kill tumors, then in small doses it would wake up skin cells. In Europe and America, a beauty brand called Radia became very popular. They added radium and thorium to their powder and creams. The ads promised that your face would literally glow with youth. And this glow was not a metaphor. The skin actually got microburns, which people thought was a healthy blush. At the same time, X-ray hair removal appeared. To get rid of unwanted hair, women just put their legs under strong X-ray radiation for a few minutes. The hair did fall out forever. The problem was that, after a couple of years, the skin started to fall off too. And finally, the promised story about the top hat. Why was men's fashion just as dangerous? You've probably heard of the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. He wasn't just a fairy tale character. He was a real medical diagnosis of that time. In the 18th and 19th centuries, mercury was used to make felt hats. Master hatters worked in small workshops and constantly breathed in its poisonous vapors. This caused serious damage to the nervous system. People started to have shaking hands, hallucinations, memory loss, and fits of sudden anger. They literally went crazy at work. And the people who wore these hats received microdoses of mercury through their scalp for years. So, a stylish gentleman in a top hat could slowly turn into a madman just because he wanted to look professional. Next time your new sneakers give you a small blister or your jeans feel too tight, just remember the rats in the hair, the lead makeup, and the mercury in the hat. Compared to the past, modern fashion is the safest and most comfortable ride in the world. Which of these facts shocked you the most? Write in the comments and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new stories about the strange and dangerous lives of our ancestors. See you in the next video.